Hey everybody, welcome back. It's MJ here, just plain fun. Thought we'd bring you a special edition video and talk about cleaning up a little bit more valuable hand plane. Specifically, I thought we'd talk about this little Bailey, little Victor plane right here. So we'll call that a little number 12 and a half. As far as value on this little guy, I'd put it somewhere around, say, 300 bucks or so. But as you can see, it's in as found condition, and that's what we're going to be talking about is cleaning this guy up. We want to make it look new and spiffy again, right? So let's look at some of the options and different methods that we can use for cleanup. Of course, y'all know that vinegar is a big option. Lots of people use that to clean up their hand planes.
Daddy, Mommy's making salad dressing and she needs the vinegar. She sent me out here to see if you have it.
Well, of course I have the vinegar. I saw this guy on YouTube cleaning up a hand plane. He said that if I use vinegar, my hand plane will come out looking like a brand new Lee Nielsen.
Daddy, nobody who knows anything about hand planes soaks them in vinegar.
Well, there you go, folks. Even my 9-year-old knows that you don't use vinegar on old tools. I'm glad we got that out of the way. Look, I was just kidding. Please do not use vinegar on your old tools. If you watch my other video that I put out about cleaning up hand planes, you know that I am a proponent for Evaporust. There is a time and a place for using Evaporust. You just have to be smart about when and where you use it. As for doing your scrubbing work, of course you got your Scotch-Brite pads. You can get these in green, you can get them in red, you can get them in gray. And they're going to be various grits depending on which color they are. And you can just read up on those. I'm not going to go into heavy detail, but this is, heavy-duty scour pads. So this is going to be a good one for getting heavy rust. And, again, the reds, the grays, they're good. And then you got your steel wool. This is going to be your 4/0. Some folks don't like using this because it tends to shred on them, and they don't like getting those little fibers of the steel wool everywhere. But if you impregnate it with a little wax, then it's really not a bad option. And speaking of wax, you've got the Renaissance wax like this. This is a really good one. And then of course Johnson's paste wax, also good. And it's good for cleaning it. It's also good for putting a protective coat on when you're done. But back to our little Bailey here that we're cleaning up. Remember I told you that there's a time and a place for Evaporust, and you just have to be judicious about its use. Be careful. Of course, you want to make sure that you completely submerge whatever it is that you are soaking. And here we go. I'm just kidding. I just want to make the Bailey guys really nervous for a minute. We're actually going to put these number 45 components, this little slitter depth stop, and this slitter, and then the screw, the shoulder screw that holds them on. We're going to put those in Evaporust. We're going to let those sit overnight, and then, maybe I'll do like a YouTube short or something tomorrow just because I've never done one of those before. But we're going to follow up and see how those turn out. We're going to go ahead and put this little dude back together. And I guess the two takeaways that hopefully you take from this are less is more, and kind of your rule of thumb when it comes to rust is you want to arrest the rust. You want to stop it. You want to make sure that the rust is not going to do any more damage to the plane. So what you don't want is you don't want the plane sitting on the shelf and just rusting away. And it's kind of up to you what method you want to use. Kind of talked about that in I'm sure you've seen that in multiple videos, multiple online discussions. But stop the rust. And that's a wrap, folks. That's how I do a full cleanup on what I consider to be a rather valuable hand plane.